Culture. Silicon Valley culture.
Yep.
Brisbane culture.
Yep.
I mean, obviously people are like, oh, come on, why is he bringing this up? But just talk me through, because obviously I did a quick flip cam video on my phone earlier in the year after we had a Skype conversation. And I was feeling a little bit inspired.
Yep.
So I jumped on, flipped the camera around, and filmed it. It was about badges of honours for fucking up.
Sure.
And and really sort of like going through testing something, fucking up. All right, no, next one. Shit, cool. This went really, really well.
Yep.
Talk me through the whole culture. Obviously, there's a lot more to the culture of tech life and startup culture and that. Just talk me through startup culture in Silicon Valley and what you've noticed in the 9 months that you've been there.
Sure. So there's a lot of noise around this whole movement of like, fail fast, fail often. The more you fail, the more you learn, the more you know your customer.
It's not an ad, really.
Yeah, and that's not new, and it's been especially sort of worshipped in Silicon Valley. Now, there's almost a movement going against that, saying like, well, let's not try to fail, let's try to get it right, and if we fail, that's okay, we still learn. So it's certainly encouraged in that respect. Failing isn't a bad thing. Failing can often be a good thing, especially if you are close. Because if you are close, like, failure just brings you one step closer to shifting gears and having success. Again, this is nothing new. The one thing I would say, and the challenge with Brisbane is that you're dealing with a lot of medium to large size companies and very few very small companies. The small companies often don't have the budget to fail a lot. They don't want to fail a lot because it's like we have enough runway for X months, and if this whole initiative that we're working on fails, we have no money, therefore we won't have any, then we have to like fold, just as an example.
Go back to working at Macca's.
Sure.
Shout out to Macca's, great place to work, but...
Love McDonald's. So, not really. So that's one thing, but then the sort of the polar opposite of that is big companies, and there's these medium to large size companies. In Brisbane, it's like the banks, the insurance companies, there's a bunch of them, right? And they're the ones where the majority of people are working, or government, just say.
Yeah.
And the challenge of those places is that failure is very much frowned upon. No one's encouraged to fail. No one's, and you shouldn't be encouraged to fail, but...
Because it's a certainty culture.
Sure.
It's a certainty,
Sure.
I'll go here, I'll get paid X.
Yeah, we don't want to challenge any norms, we don't want to do anything different. Let's see what's already working and let's mirror that. And that's a strategy. Being a fast follower isn't a bad thing. But the ones who lead, the ones who do something differently, are the ones who are willing to experiment and completely change. And it's funny, like, you see a whole lot of companies now trying to build innovation teams or innovation hubs within a large company. And I don't think that's the way to do it.
Here
and over there, or here. Well, so it happens on both sides, but I don't think that's the right way to do it, because culturally, people have already got this ingrained into them that we build what we believe will be successful, as they should, and we don't fail, and we always try to avoid fail, and we build on what already works. You can't really innovate when you think like that. You can't do anything too creative, too crazy. So these small teams within large companies aren't really sustainable, and I can't see that being the answer to success in the future. You've got to take teams out of the company to have that sort of success. But a willingness to run at something and know the likelihood of success is 10%, but know that the person that you've empowered to do that is likely to keep pushing until they make a breakthrough.
Yeah.
Give them that power, give them that authority.
Shout out to South Godin, poke the box.
Poke the box, exactly. So poke the box
is what it's all about.
It's being willing to run at it, fail, but have supportive management that enable you to keep running in different directions. So if you've got that, you'll always win ultimately. But when you're so focused on deadlines, money, and whatever else, it doesn't empower anyone.
You're not allowed to do those sorts of things. Yeah. So you're saying in Silicon Beach, shout out to Silicon Beach meetup, Silicon Valley, you've got it's just the culture. Like, how many businesses have you screwed up at? How many startups
have you done?
How many startups have you had?
Having a failed startup isn't a bad thing. I was conducting a job interview for a couple of people very recently that we're hiring at the moment, and them coming forward and saying, here was my idea but it didn't work, isn't, like, we actually don't look at that as a bad thing at all. It's not that we say, why didn't it work, why did you fail? We say, like, what did you learn from the process? And often, what they learn is it all comes back to the fact that, would you rather, everyone always overstates the amount of success they think they're going to have, the amount of impact they think their company's going to have. They always believe they're going to have $1 billion company, or they're going to have tens of thousands of clients or whatever, and some do, but most don't. So if you're not going to have that epic win, then at least make the story worth telling.
Yeah.
And the story will always be worth telling if you're doing something crazy and actually pushing the box. So we value that. In saying that, if you had success, that's awesome, because it means you probably did fail throughout the process. So there's nothing wrong with failing or having success, really, as long as you learn from it and you're able to articulate those learnings and use those to create more value in the future.
And this is all of your last 9 months in Silicon Valley.
It's everything.
And in the Valley, I say Silicon Valley. No, does anyone say Silicon Valley over there? Silicon because of all the Y's and the chords and stuff.
That's like, it's more historic. It's not so much,
dude, I'm proper Brisbane, I don't know. The Valley, so everyone's saying San Fran.
But if you say the Valley here, it's Fortitude Valley.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really work.
Which is, River Sea Lad, shout out to River Sea Lad.
Sure.
Peter and Steve and the team down there. But, Valley, it's the Valley.
It's the Valley, yeah, but it's like, so I'm actually based in San Francisco City, and there's a bit of a difference there between being in the city and being in the Valley.
Which is a bit south?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a 45-minute drive south, and
Yeah.
that's where Google, Facebook, and all the big guys are. And some of the startups, but a lot of the startups are really based in San Francisco City.
So what's around you, like Netflix and Twitter and?
Yeah, Twitter's just literally down the road. Square have just moved from their office. That was literally across the road.
That's a Twitter company.
Yeah, they're owned by.
Is Medium there yet, or it's not big enough?
I'm not sure where Medium is. I'm sure they're in the city. I'm not sure where they're based. I went out to Zengar recently. They're in the city. There's a lot of like epic. Like I met a journalist from CNET very recently, and that was cool. Just going.
CNET's cool.
Yeah.
Brian Tong's one of my favourites.
There you go. Brian's great. Yeah. So like shout out to Donna Tam. She's one of their lead journalists, and like we caught up very recently. So it's also like I love being with those guys because it gives you a new energy and a new perspective that you don't get if you're not exposed to it. So. It's fun. It's like super fun. As someone who like always looked at San Francisco, Silicon Valley, and wanted to be part of it, to actually go there and do it.
But is it still surreal? You still like pinching yourself going, I'm here, or you're
a little bit. It's funny.
I'm doing this as part of my journey. Because you said to me the other day, you've said to me a couple of times, you don't see yourself like retiring there.
No, not a chance. I probably wouldn't even want to bring up kids in San Francisco. It's not. I don't feel like that's the kind of city I want to be in. Really,
is it like shootings and stuff, or is it pretty?
Oh, it's the same as any American city.
Yeah.
Really. Like there's dangerous areas. Like there's dangerous areas anywhere, but it's not incredibly safe. I wouldn't be wandering around at 4 a.m. all through town. But it's one of those things where. I think it's the right place for me right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy, intense, ridiculous, but the rewards are high. Working with amazing people, working with amazing products.
Some of the best in the world are there, really.
Oh, absolutely. All the guys in our team are all geniuses. But like, if you look at the engineering talent we've got, it's amazing to work with those people. Like, I was working on some stuff for Bebo recently, and I made the point that they were coding the page faster than I could write the copy that the page would contain.
Ridiculous.
That's crazy. Like, that's unheard of. I mean, just in my experience in Brisbane, it's pretty rare that you get that. And you can get that. There are very talented people here, but it's rare.
Yeah. Cool. Well, mate, it's been so awesome having you on the show. And obviously, before we wrap up, thank you so much, Platinum Blonde. Jared Treadley says these are crap beers, but that's I don't know.
That's all right.
But I mean, which people we were talking about? How do you want to roll it? So shout out to Platinum Blonde for this here.
Yeah,
but
thanks for this.
We'd love Green Beacon beer to throw on some beers.
Let's go some local craft.
Yeah, some local stuff. They're just down in Tenerife. So if you guys are watching this. I'm going to send you the video anyway, but if you're watching this, we'd love to have some of your beers on for the next show.
Jason would greatly appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, shout out to you guys.
Thank you. Cheers, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode of JDP TV.